Calaroga Shark Media.
Hey, it's the worst day of the year. Johnny Mac hates today. It is the Tuesday after Labor Day. Summer's over. No more beach. No more sunshine. And back when I had a real job, this was always the day where the bosses were like, okay, now that summer's over, let's do our fall initiatives and get our... And it was like, dude, I just want to think about the beach. Hi, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Hey. I've been telling you all summer long, Adam Sandler, great dramatic actor, terrible comedic actor. You guys ignored me and you watched Happy Gilmore, and I keep telling you, no. His best films are Uncut Gems and the Spaceman one and the basketball one. We want dramatic actor Adam Sandler, and the buzz on his performance in this upcoming George Clooney film, Jay Kelly, is tremendous. In Jay Kelly, Adam Sandler plays against type as a serious, straight-shooting manager to movie star Jay Kelly, played by George Clooney, who I'm often confused for. Like, what if George Clooney wasn't as good-looking and had a lot of donuts for breakfast? That'd be the comparison there. But anyway, Adam Sandler spoke to Variety and said, being in this movie and not just trying to find jokes and laugh moments, that's what's amazing. What's amazing to me is that Adam Sandler has been trying to find jokes and laugh moments in his other movies because he has failed terribly at that. Sandler says, all our characters give you a moment to laugh and feel pain. As an actor, when you read a script like this, you say, holy S, I can't believe I'm getting this gift. Director Noah Baumbach said, Adam does have such grace and loyalty and generosity and heart around the people he works with and his family. He really does find a way to involve everyone. It's the opposite of Jay Kelly. He's found a way to navigate this whole thing and do it successfully. Sandler said, I've always tried to bring the family when we go to film a movie, and it can't happen every time, but FaceTime is nice too. I've seen the cast list of your films, Adam. Don't act like the family's not with you. They're in the darn things. Sandler said, I've always appreciated my manager, my agent, my publicist. I know how hard they work and how difficult it is to hear my ups and downs and to back me up. Even when I could get loud at times, I was excited to play a man who is devoted. I admire everyone who does that. Hey, you want to feel old? Matt Rife caught up with Billboard, and now Matt Rife's current tour poster is an homage to Billy Idol. That's great. I mean, who doesn't like Billy Idol? The Rebel Yell album is fantastic. White Wedding is always a banger, as the kids say at weddings. Well, how did Matt Rife get into Billy Idol? His grandfather introduced him. So that's not my kids getting into Billy Idol. That's Matt Rife's grandfather. Rife said, yeah, my grandpa put me on a classic rock as far back as I can remember. It's still my favorite genre of music. But my last tours have been inspired by classic musicians. I did The Doors for my Problematic tour poster, and this one I did Billy Idol, and I actually dyed my hair blonde for it. I've never done anything like that before. Funny how the world works out. I actually got to work with Billy Idol on the promo he did for his current tour. I had him sign my arm, and I went straight to the tattoo shop, so now I have Billy Idol tattooed on my arm. That's a bad decision, Matt Rife. What are you thinking? Rife said, Billy Idol is the nicest, coolest guy. How he speaks, what he speaks about, the stories he had to tell. I'd love to play him in a biopic someday. You know what? Not the worst casting. I would go see that. What are we going to call it? You have to call it Rebel Yell, right? And any other title would be dumb. I have called up on Google Billy Idol songs. I probably could do this from memory, but it's easier this way. All right. I vote we call the movie Rebel Yell. Other candidates would be Dancing with Myself, not awful. Hot in the City, worse but not as good. Catch My Fall, Don't Need a Gun, To Be a Lover. Eyes Without a Face, White Wedding. Stand in the Shadows. That's kind of too clever for school, but that's a great song on the Rebel Yell album from 1983. If you haven't been paying attention to Billy, first of all, there's some full concerts of him on YouTube. He did one at the Hoover Dam. He sounds great, and he put out a few songs in the last couple years. I have my phone. Let me tell you what they're called. From his 2025 album, Dream Into It, there's a song called Still Dancing that I liked a lot. And in 22, he put out an EP called The Cage that was fantastic. The song Running from the Ghost is pretty good. And the song Rebel Like You, peak Billy Idol. I mean, fantastic. Billy Idol went, I know what you want. Here you go. Love it. We'll stick with Billboard for a second. Into the holiday weekend, they put out the July box score report. Who's got the biggest tours? We'll focus on the comedians here. Who do you think was the biggest touring comedian for July 2025? Wrong. The answer is Weird Al Yankovic. $8 million, over 140,000 tickets sold. Yeah, remember he played the Garden? That surpassed the monthly gross and attendance of the previous three leaders. Al did 20 shows. That's a lot in 31 days. It was the most shows that anyone played across all genres that month. People that were close were Kesha, who did 19. Fish and Tyler, the Creator, did 17 each. At the Garden, Weird Al brought in more than $1 million from a sold-out crowd of 12,461. Weird Al beat out Nate Bargatze. Wow. Nate did 6 shows in July and grossed only $5.1 million on 64,700 tickets. Number 3, Peter Kay did 4 shows. $3.4 million. Number 4, future Billy Idol Matt Rife, 2 shows, $2.6 million, 25,400 tickets. $2.6 million on 2 shows is not bad money if you can get it. And number 5, the Dude Perfect guys. They did 4 shows, grossed $2.4 million, 37,700 tickets. Patton Oswalt, who appeared in possibly, perhaps, maybe the worst episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds that ever existed. He played Doug the Vulcan. Did you hear me throw a brick through my television? No, I didn't actually destroy my television, but I wanted to. Patton Oswalt needs to stick to game shows. He was the phone-a-friend lifeline on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Jimmy Kimmel, your host. Cal Penn phoned a friend, Patton Oswalt. He described Patton Oswalt as both hilarious and incredibly intelligent, and also terrible at Star Trek, I will point out. Cal Penn probably should have mentioned that. Kimmel called Patton Oswalt one of the smartest guys I know, but terrible at Star Trek. Patton Oswalt shouted out the answer Shakespeare, as though that was the answer to an unspecified question. Penn fired off the question with the remaining answers, and even though there were only 2 options to choose from, Patton Oswalt seemed uncertain of his choice. The question had to do with the commonly known name of gua sha, a wellness technique practiced in China for centuries. The 50-50 lifeline was already gone. The 2 remaining answers. Do you know the answer? Is it nerve numbing or skin scraping? I will tell you after the break. When we last left, there were 2 answers on the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire board. Your friend Patton Oswalt is on the phone. He's going to tell you if gua sha is nerve-numbing or skin-scraping. Patton Oswalt, terrible at Star Trek, says the answer is nerve-numbing. Do you want to go with him? Cal Penn did. Turns out, wrong. The answer is skin-scraping. So Patton Oswalt is terrible at Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and, of course, Star Trek. A lot of game show news. Jimmy Fallon, not afraid to work. He's like the Kevin Hart of late night. He's got yet another gig, right? Last week, he's doing some sort of ad agency thing. He's going to do some Sunday Night Tonight shows. Well, Password has been renewed for Season 3 on NBC. In case you've never seen Password, with a series of 1 clues, teams race to guess the secret password for a chance to win cash prizes. Here, you want to play Password with me? Here, I'll feed you a word. Ready? Unfunny. That's right. The password is Sandler. See, you would have won a lot of money if you and I were on Password with Jimmy Fallon. The Guardian asked Eric Idle, which comedian, living or dead, do you admire the most? Eric Idle said Peter Cook, Billy Connolly, Robin Williams, Eddie Izzard. Eric, who's probably a fan of the podcast Palace Intrigue, where we talk about the royal family every day, he talked about the royal family with the Guardian, and he said, I feel really sorry for the royals. Sometimes they're very nice and human, and other times they become monsters, because if you're called Sir at 5, you're putting trouble into people. King Charles is very funny. He was at Cambridge, he did comedy, and he loved Spike Milligan, and would always come to Billy Connolly's shows, but it's not a society I'd be happy to live in. The thing I like about America is it created itself. It's the only place that wrote a script for itself, but it needs a rewrite to bring it up to date. The Second Amendment says at 16, you're allowed a major weapon of war. I really think they're serious about wanting to get rid of liberals and lefties. They're very crazy. Send your letters to Eric Idle. New topic, looking back on your career from Python to Spamalot. Do you think satire can still achieve in today's world the power it had during the Python days? Eric Idle said, Python's not satire, it's the opposite. Satire ends, it's dead. You don't watch early episodes of SNL and think, oh, Gerald Ford fell downstairs. Python was always generic comedy and it survives longer. Great point. And that's your comedy news for today. If you would like the program without commercial interruptions, open up Apple Podcasts. There's a banner there. It says uninterrupted listening. You click that, and for $5 a month, you'll get this show and 5 Good News Stories, which I also host. Palace Intrigue, in case you're like Eric Idle and you want to hear stuff about the royal family. Taylor Swift Today, you can imagine what that's about. 5 daily trivia questions, really catching on. That one works particularly well, commercial-free, you got to admit. So you click that banner, it says uninterrupted listening, and you get a 30-day free trial. And then here's what happens. Then on day 31, Apple sends you a note, and they're like, hey, you were billed $4.99. You're like, what? And then you're like, Johnny Mac tricked me with his 30-day free trial. But then you realize, oh, it was just 17 cents a day. I've got 17 cents. And then we're all happy. The 17 cents comes in. Apple takes their 30%, so there's like 12 cents left. My business partner, Mark, he takes 6 cents and I get like 6 cents and you don't have any commercials. I mean, it's a good deal. Uninterrupted listening, Apple Podcasts. See you tomorrow.